Hi, fellow servants of God. I got a dream early this morning where the Lord shared with me a revelation of the problem of reaching some young people with any message whatsoever. Never mind one that will snatch them out from the fires of hell they're headed in if they aren't shaken awake from the stronghold they're in of religious devotion to playing games. In this dream, I found myself at the entrance to a living room, obviously as a guest, allowed there, as I was inside the same house as though with permission. And I had walked into the living room to find these children playing. No one else there. These kids were kneeling on the floor. There were 3 of them. They were boys. They were kneeling as children kneel when they're steering toy trucks with one hand. They were just to the side of a large white coffee table far ahead of me, as it was a large living room, larger than average. They were head to head, literally, playing some game together. And the kids, well, they appeared perhaps between the ages of 9 to 14. It's difficult to tell, since some children can be older than they appear, and some can be younger than they actually look. But just at the surface, they looked even as young as 8 to even as old as 14. They were dressed in shorts and short-sleeved polo shirts, as though they were there as formal visitors in this house. So even though they were casual, it was dressy enough as if they were guests there. They were very, very engrossed in their play, and I wandered over to the other side of the coffee table, heading to them, starting to share with them a story I knew they would love to hear. It was an actual true story of mine from real waking life. I was telling them in this dream about a time I had a very dangerous and cool experience where I had climbed into the wall space of the Army school I was attending at the time, being trained for my military occupation of office machine repair. And it's an incredible story, and I was relating it to them. The thing is, they were not paying attention to a single word I was saying, not even one. And at the time, I too was having difficulty speaking to them, trying to put my energy into saying this to them. And the thing is that it didn't matter what I had to say. The children were so engrossed in their game with one another. They were so involved that they simply ignored anything else. It didn't matter what the price of such ignoring would mean, nor whatever was being said. Their engrossment in their games they were playing with one another made them completely ignore anything, no matter the level of fascination, no matter the level of excitement, no matter the level they would normally be caught up individually in interest, wanting to hear such a story. And I saw 2 revelations that the Lord gave me. One, that I would have trouble reaching children in such groups because of their involvement in the games they were playing with one another. They are simply too caught up, too dedicated to only be gamers, that they purposefully zone everything else out. They have made it their religion, their fervor, their idol. Even though I was right where they were, close that they couldn't not hear me, it was as if I was invisible. It didn't matter what I had to say. It didn't matter how it would appeal to them normally. Their engrossment in the games they were playing with one another superseded anything else. And the Lord was giving me a revelation here that they would perish to this great engrossment that they had with one another, that they simply would not hear. They would not hear anything being said to them. And the second revelation, of course, was that I was struggling to reach them, because I found myself struggling to get my voice loud enough to even speak as I neared them, even though I knew no matter how loud I talked, they would keep playing, wouldn't look up or acknowledge anything else. Yet, I kept trying to get these kids' attention in a place they spent so much time in that it might as well be their homes, their living rooms, a place which I got the revelation at the dream's end was YouTube. It was clear they simply, no matter what one may have to say, unless you directly joined the game and got down with them in the same game, that their focus was so tight and so narrow that they were all looking down to only the game pieces. They wouldn't get up. They wouldn't lift their heads up no matter what was said. They were just tied up in these games. And so I found myself, when I woke up, praying to the Lord, help these children to be reached. Help to break them out of this engagement that they simply don't want to listen to anything. Normally, finding kids playing together is nice. But the problem the Lord revealed to me is there are young people involved playing games with one another with such religiousness that they don't listen to a single thing beyond that gaming experience, that they can't even receive something they would want to receive. They would want to receive it if they were alone. And one of those things is the message they need to receive to save their souls before time is out for every person on this world who is put off listening to the message of reconciliation with God. Although I pray for such youth, in the dream I could see that these particular ones in no shape or form were going to look up. They were not going to look up. They would only pay attention to someone who joined their circle, and any conversation there only be restricted and limited to the game as they were playing it. That is it. Nothing else would be received. Nothing else would be hated or looked at. They wouldn't look up for anything whatsoever, never mind even to save their souls.